on fire.
Do you know that to be alive as a Nigerian today or to see 2027 might depend on what you did in 2023? Nigerians have been so much victims of bad governance that they almost feel it is impossible to have good governance.
Did you hear what I heard? That Canada labeled APC and PDP as terrorists. Are they terrorists or they are not terrorists? We will find out in the course of this class. How true is this statement? This is a story of a Nigerian man by name Douglas. Douglas failed in his immigration claim because he said he's a PDP member. That was his only offense. How did terrorism enter the matter? Many Nigerian newspapers reported that a federal court in Ontario declared APC and PDP as terrorist organizations. But one newspaper stood out, Premium Times. I didn't want to mention many of these newspapers, Let's go straight to the one that stood out. And Premium Times found out that the news was false, misleading and sensational. It's not true. There is no court in Canada that pronounced APC or PDP as terrorist organization. Okay, how did we now enter this level? How this happened? How did it now happen that terrorism entered the matter? After Premium Times found out that the news was not true, Premium Times also discovered that the judgment was only about one man's immigration case. So who was this man in question? And this is the reason we are here in today's class. The man's name is Douglas Egharevba. I might not have pronounced it rightly. Apologies. He's a Nigerian. He said he's a politician. Why was Douglas running? Why was he seeking protection? Who was chasing him? Douglas entered Canada. This is the brief history of it all. Douglas entered Canada in September 2017 and he applied for refugee status. Douglas said he was a PDP member between 1999 and 2007, as well as All People's Congress, okay, from 2007 till he left Nigeria. Take a note, All People's Congress is different from All Progressive Congress. So most likely, a shady and frustrating case because the now known Nigerians APC is known as All Progressive Congress. All Progressive Congress did not exist until 2013. And there's no party known as All People's Congress. Just the abbreviation sounding alike. Let's move on. Douglas himself disclosed his political affiliations in a background declaration form as he entered Canada in 2017. They gave him a form to fill. That form is called background declaration form. Now you go take your hand, write everything that is about your background. Canada will not have followed you to your country of origin. You will fill the form yourself. Whatever you write there, that is what they will use to prosecute you. And this is exactly what happened. In that form, he had indicated that he's a member of PDP and a member of APC. Not All Progressive Congress, I said, but All People's Congress. Between 1999, actually, till 2017 that he left Nigeria, he's an active party member. And this was his error. Let us see how this enchanted him. Whatever story he might have written in his claim, which was why he needed asylum protection, Canada did not bother themselves around that. When Canada learned about his political affiliation claim, that is a political party member, Canada immigration authorities, they dug further on him as a party man. They said, no, whatever case you said happened, put it aside. But you yourself, you are a political party man. How now they take manage that party? We want to know. How now they take run on a party? How is this party you are talking about that you are a member of, how is this party like? And then Canada found out that. Then they argued that PDP, number one, in which he was a member between 1999 and 2007, PDP was now linked to all this: electoral violence, politically motivated killings, ballot box snatching, vote rigging, political violence. No be me right time, no be me talk. It is there in the judgment document produced by Canadian courts. These are not my verdicts, no be me talk. That's how Canada take an license. So whether PDP is now known with electoral violence, politically motivated killings, ballot box snatching, vote rigging, political violence. You know, as a Nigerian, I know. But this, no be me right now. Let's move on. Douglas now argued that he had never personally participated in all these activities we're on a list. But Canada immigration said, no, it doesn't matter. Your membership alone, you being a member of that political party alone, was sufficient to render you inadmissible. Inadmissible means you are not supposed to be admitted into our country because you are a member of a political party that specialized in ballot box snatching. No way. You cannot be snatching ballot box or boxes where you were coming from, and you come and practice that here. Whether you had participated or you are going to do such later in future, it does not matter. You remember many times whenever we were filling certain immigration forms or certain application forms, visa application forms, there is always that question: have you a member or have you been a member? They frame it in this way: are you a member or have you been a member of a political party or of certain organizations that are truncated peace? Or different countries have different ways of putting it. They want to know where they come from, what has been your history, what has been your background, politically, socially, the storyline again. Let us take it one after the other by dates. In 2017, the story began. Douglas entered Canada in September 2017 to chop Aduro, to seek asylum. That is what they call Aduro. In 2018, between 2018 and 2024, the whole of his immigration rulings came to life. What we mean by immigration rulings? So this means a period of 6 years, he was battling immigration war, immigration crisis. If you are not there, you no go know. In 2018 precisely, Canadian Border Services interviewed him, meaning he was in court and he was interviewed. And he admitted that, true, he was a member of PDP and APC. The APC, All People's Congress, something like that. In 2019, immigration officer rejected his asylum claim. He fell on. They not agree. Say, no, it can't be. We will not give you your asylum claim. They rejected his claim. They rejected his case. Because, like we said, of his party membership of PDP, and PDP is linked to subversion. Subversion means all the crimes listed above: ballot boxes, snatching, vote rigging, violence in election, and many crimes associated with democracy and democratic values. Let's see the meaning of subversion. Subversion is from the Latin word subvertere, and it means overthrow, something like coup. That is simple. That's the meaning of subversion, something like coup. But of course, we have different systems, different kinds of coup, different types of coup. The popular one is the one that soldier carries gun and overthrow the democratically elected government through the power of gun. But vote rigging is also subversion. It's also a coup. Violence is also a coup. It's also overthrowing. Vote buying, intimidation, and all what have you. They are all categorized as subversion. So, subversion is from the Latin word subvertere, which means overthrow. Meaning, in broader terms, overthrowing values and principles of democracy. What are the values and principles of democracy? Those ingredients, those characteristics where they inside democracy, those things people are supposed to enjoy inside democracy. Free and fair election, they overthrow them. Impartial umpire, impartial INEC, na lie. Voice of the people, they overthrow them. Checks and balances in government, they. Impartial judiciary. People are finding this difficult in today's world. But these are not my words anyway. This is just the meaning of subversion, and this was the crime PDP was accused of between 1999 and 2007 that this man claimed to have been a member. And of course, longer than that. We'll get there. But this man no agree. In 2019, he no agree. Douglas appealed the refusal in 2019. Let's see what happened to his refusal. By 2020, they answered him, and he won the appeal on the ground that there wasn't enough evidence of terrorism or intentional subversion. There was no evidence. They couldn't link those subversion to him directly anyway, so he won the appeal. By 2024, Canada said, no, we don't agree. This cannot be true. We will not believe this. Canada found out other reasons to nail him. Okay? The Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness appealed the decision in 2024 through new evidences. And what are these evidences? We'll see. By 2025, June, the June that just passed, a judge in federal court now revealed the evidences that this Minister of Public Safety presented. And what are the evidences, the new evidences? They confirmed PDP was linked to subversion of democracy, ballot rigging, violence, intimidation. They confirmed it. They said membership alone in PDP, say you be member alone, is enough. We are not looking for any other thing. The fact that you are a member is all we are looking for. Applicant arguments that I did not personally commit this violence, they reject that. They don't want to hear that. That is not enough. They chose subversion, not terrorism, as the legal basis for his inadmissibility. They are not talking about him being a terrorist. Where those newspapers got the term terrorist or terrorism or terrorist organization is known to them. That is not true. They said subversion, overthrowing of democratic values, meaning the practice of ballot rigging, violence, intimidation, electoral crisis, just so you could impose or you could make your candidate to appear the winner. That is what they mean. And that was what they rejected. APC of Buhari and Tinubu of today wasn't birthed then and was not the one being referred to. The APC we know today, All Progressive Congress, which Buhari and Tinubu and some other party members came together to form, was not the one they were referring to. Summarily, the Canadian court only said PDP's violent election history, which is equal to subversion, which made Douglas inadmissible to Canada as an ex-member of PDP. It never labeled PDP or APC as terrorist group. That was media exaggeration. Let us see the law of Canada that was applied in this situation. Under Canada's Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, IRPA, a foreigner can be inadmissible for belonging to a group linked to espionage, subversion, or terrorism. Espionage, to the spy, when you are there just to spy about your country to inform another country. You cannot be fit for that society because you are there to spy. Your loyalty is not called to that country. Subversion, overthrowing of democratic values or overthrowing of the authority, or terrorism. If you are linked to any of these three, you cannot be in Canada. And so it is in very many of these Western countries. You cannot be there if you commit any of these crimes. So judge then ruled that subversion in the case of Douglas was what we applied. They ignored terrorism claims. They did not mention, they did not elaborate or talk about terrorism. So Douglas has fought some great legal battles at different court layers for 80 years up until federal court level. So what are his next chances? Is he coming home or he will continue to fight other legal loopholes? I wouldn't know. We can only wish him all the best. That's about that. Like the story I mentioned a few days ago, Nigerians should stop cyberbullying abroad returnees. Getting a passport isn't just a mere work. Somebody said it in one of the videos I made in his comment that it's the least you can do for yourself when you're abroad is to get their passport. And I laugh. Getting a country's passport, a Western country's passport, is what you call the least you can. That is the greatest. It is the. I don't want to call it the greatest. Then it will begin to sound like an asset, like a special asset. No, but it is the hardest battle to fight. If you have it, good luck. If you don't have it, you can't die. Don't die in there. Let's see today's reality in relation to subversion, overthrowing of electoral values. Unfortunately, subversion continues across Nigerian political parties. The subversion of electoral values has since 2015 gone worst. Is this a lie? We will find out. The subversion continues, and it has, as a matter of fact, gone worse since 2015. Not be me talking. We will find out in media reports shortly. Peter for Nigeria, one brilliant social media chap, has been championing the laudable cause for electoral reforms. He has taken the battle even to the National Assembly. Some key politicians with no tangible results so far. Nobody seems to be interested in electoral reform. But what we witnessed in 2023, like very many other electoral results of the past, has made the man to say, no, we cannot continue this way. For us to have a true democracy, election must be free, fair, credible, and transparent. There must be a compulsory transmission of results electronically, not somebody saying there is a glitch, which was what we witnessed in 2023.
Do Nigerians understand that elections are actually blood business? There are certain persons who would be alive today but for the recklessness and irresponsibility of the series of successive governments we have had. In fact, do you know that to be alive as a Nigerian today or to see 2027 might depend on what you did in 2023. Nigerians have been so much victims of bad governance that they almost feel it is impossible to have good governance. So if you're telling Nigerians about free and fair elections in Nigeria, the average Nigerian is thinking that you're coming from space. So what are you saying? And then one of the other challenges that gives credit to that kind of mindset is because demanding electoral reform comprehensively is like demanding resignation letter from the current political class. It is like firewalls.
Yep.
Nobody will give you comprehensive electoral reform on a platter. If they wanted to do it, you do not even need the petition that we wrote. There is a Justice Uwe's panel report on electoral reform that has been there like forever with Stephen Orosai of civil service and all of that. But the political class, their confidence and arrogance is in a criminal electoral system. So the more they refuse to fix it, the more you must insist, because that is your own silver bullet, no matter how much you try. So that is part of the challenge that we have, witnessed, that the system has thrown so much at Nigerians that they have become detached from it. But being detached does not insulate you from still being a victim.
VDM has been similarly involved towards ensuring a non-subversive democracy. Some people may want to argue this, I don't know. But for me, we've seen it in the forefront of fighting for a better Nigeria in its own capacity and in its own right.
I am fire, I am light, I am tribute to supernatural. I am fire, come on.
However, the people are currently on a multi-dimensional poverty level all across. And this is not far-fetched, regardless of what the government of the day seems to be preaching. The reality is a sharp contradiction to that. People are hungry, people cannot feed, people cannot live well. And this is not about running down on my country. No, we are only saying it the way it is for a possibility of improvement, for somebody to write his name on a golden sand of history and change the course to the right one. Let us see some of the examples and why we said electoral submission or democratic submissions have gotten worse since 2015. We won't waste time. In 2015 general elections, Boko Haram insurgents attacked polling stations, resulting in at least 41 deaths. Attacking polling stations, killing people, preventing them from voting. This happened in 2015. Put it on Google. Also in December 2015, in Kano, Kaduna, Niger, Oyo, Ekiti, very many states, Ogun, I just shortened them so as not to take very many of our time. During the gubernatorial elections, clashes between political party supporters led to injuries and disruptions. Report of ballot box snatching. Clashes between party member supporters were prevalent. Also, you can research it further on Google. In same 2015, Zaria massacre. The Nigerian army killed between 700 and 1,000 Shiite Muslims during a religious procession in Kaduna State. In 2016, Biafran protest crackdown. Security forces killed 80 pro-Biafran protesters in Anambra and Abia State. Find out further. In 2020, Oga Patapata of them all. This became a global event. Lekki toll gate shooting. The Nigerian army opened fire on peaceful protesters and NSAS protesters in Lagos, resulting in at least 12 deaths. You cannot deny this, and this should not be happening in democracy. This in itself is an overthrow of democratic ethos. It is subversive in itself. 2023 INEC office attacks also happened. Armed groups attacks and destroy INEC offices in Abeokuta, Ogun State. 2027 Anambra gubernatorial election violence, incident of violence and voter intimidation were also reported during the election. In 2016, Edo State gubernatorial election of box snatching and voter intimidation surfaced during the election. How about 2016? Ondo State gubernatorial election violence. In 2023 Lagos State gubernatorial election, what happened? Cases of violence and voter intimidation were reported during the election. Hired political thugs threatening a section of ethnic nationality not to vote for a candidate of their choice. All of these things, put anyone on Google. The least you can do before you stage any argument on the comment section. Nobody paid me to write this or to destroy anybody or to impress anyone. As a matter of fact, I'm not destroying anybody's political campaign or political agenda. I'm only stating it the way it is. Because at the end of the day, we will all suffer it. Whether you are in Nigeria or you are abroad. The same way Nigerian political subversion history is catching up with Douglas in Canada. Whether he has lied about the case or he has not lied, it's immaterial. The bottom line is the political history in Nigeria. He might not have even been a member of the PDP for all you know. I'm not saying so. I don't know him for a fact. I'm only saying mine. And if you think about it well, I don't want to go too well into that details. But the bottom line is the political history, the political intimidation cases and history of Nigeria is catching up with Nigerians all across the globe. So at the end of the day, we are all in it, whether you are in the country or you are out of the country. Let's close from this position. The Canadian court didn't say PDP or APC are terrorists. Please note that. The truth is worse. Nigeria's democracy has been so compromised as of today that even mere membership in a party can now make you inadmissible anywhere abroad. Until the presidency or National Assembly leadership fix Nigerian democracy at home in Nigeria, Nigerians will keep fighting invincible battles outside. Call to action. The next time you see a viral headline, don't just share it. Please ask questions. And bigger picture, why does this matter to you? How Nigeria's history of election violence is now being treated as global baggage. Anywhere you go, Nigeria political history is your baggage. You go carry and put for back. Risks for Nigerians applying for asylum, visas, PR, if they cite politics. Reflection, Nigerians abroad are carrying the burden of Nigerians' failed or failing democracy. You may want to argue. There are very many paid bullies online who will come under the comment section and argue. Before you stage it or stage your argument, try and be reasonable. It might be difficult because you have actually been bought over. You get certain allowances called online allowances, data allowances. We get to know about these things, you know. But it doesn't matter. You can criticize, but try and use your Google to verify information before staging your criticism and be objective in your reasoning if you can be. And if you cannot be, they will drag it out. Thank you for being part of today's class. If you like today's class so far, kindly subscribe. Give it a like and some engagement. And I'll see you on the next one.